for dropping in with me. We are going to do a special Astro Talk and Tarot. We haven't done this for a bit, and I feel like it's high time because this is quite an action-packed month astrologically. We, of course, had a big event go down just the other day with the eclipse, the new moon in Aries solar eclipse. And we're now heading into even more dynamic ties and more dynamic ties. Interesting, but it's fitting. It's fitting with the download I got coming in. Okay. We're now about to enter more dynamic ties, soul ties. Okay. These are soul contracts that are coming in. Some are coming up for review. Some are coming up to be renewed. Some are coming up to be severed. And then there's brand new ones coming in where you'll be forging new bonds, all right? And let's please keep in mind when we got soulmate energy coming in, that's not just speaking romantically, okay? It's not just speaking romantically. It's also speaking on a level of teachers, mentors, important friendships, and otherworldly sort of connections that help us grow on our path. But for this sake, we're going to look specifically at love, okay? This is going to be a love read, I have to say, because Venus is really quite the shining star in terms of the action going down this month. And of course, we have those nodes of destiny in play with that, with, you know, Libra sitting there at the South Node, who is ruled by Venus, but we also have Venus entering Taurus on the 29th. So we got both of the Venusian ruled signs front and center right now. There's a lot of action going down. We also have to remember that with the nodes of destiny in play, we also had a lot of Scorpio Taurus action going down just back in the summer of 2021 through, you know, the summer of 2023 when we had these nodes of destiny shifts. So all of that is coming back around. We're clearing out a lot here. I just want to give a rundown real quick of all the various transits we've had so far with Venus and the ones coming in, so you can smell when I'm stepping in. And we'll just see. I'll kind of like go with the flow with this particular read, see what comes out here, okay? I don't want to get too structured with it. I'm trying to really move into that more creative mind space. And let's just see what comes out, okay? I'm bringing all the signs in when I'm shuffling these cards right now so we can get kind of like a collective look at the astrology together. So I'll call them informally for you. We got Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. All right, so we opened up this month with not so much a bang as we did with a like, hold up, wait a minute. When we had, you know, Mercury go retrograde. And that's something that's going to be in place all the way until the 25th of this month, right? And of course, you know, we got the post shadow. So we've been dealing with this sort of like looking back at the past, reviewing, renewing, reorganizing, restructuring, rebirthing, a lot of rebirthing energy just because of the action that's going down with Chiron, okay? More on that, but Chiron did come through very front and center with the new moon in Aries solar eclipse that we had, because Venus had went into Aries just prior to that, okay? Venus went into Aries on the 4th, right? So we got Mars hosting that Venusian energy. So remember, we're dealing with that oppositional energy. We're dealing with the oppositional energy as well in the nodes, okay? So this is why things are really heightened in terms of how we connect on a heart level with each other. We got a lot of that love and war kind of theme, you know, and really it's about the places inside of us that are at war with love, which comes from our fear and our sense of division. So, you know, on a higher spiritual plane, which we have to look at right now with Pluto and Aquarius, we are dealing with you know, humanity matters, but in our own relationships, we're finding the terrain really complicated at this time. And there's a reason for that. Okay, there's a reason for that. What we're healing here is important. Okay, the sun was conjunct the node on April 4th, the north node. All right. And with that conjunction, it was also conjunct with Venus, Chiron, and Saturn. So we know that we are tying up a particularly significant karmic cycle here, all right? And it has everything to do with all that deep healing work we've done around our deepest, most personal wound, especially in matters of the heart, especially in how we give and receive love and where we find our place in that and how we feel we are received in that place. Okay, so this coming through very strongly. Prior to that, on April 3rd, we had Venus conjunct Neptune. So, you know, that can also add a little bit of illusory element into the mix. Yeah, you know, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Not a good time to plant any seed that will grow into a new beginning. In fact, we may have come to a full-on halt at that time. Might be speaking very strongly for earth sign energies, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And the reason for that is that, you know, we didn't know what the heck was going on. You know, it's sort of like there was a collective waking up at that time and recognizing, wait a minute, I think I might have taken a wrong turn back there. Like, this doesn't look like the path I'd started down. This looks very different. This is not where I expected to end up. And that's kind of what happens when you got Venus conjunct Neptune, because there's going to be this sort of illusory, dreamy quality, but also it can be, you know, very destructive and shadowy, the places inside of us where we don't want to liberate ourselves from the fantasy, because the fantasy is so much more beautiful than the reality. All right, 7:44 on the clock. But it's important that we have that wake-up call, and that we had that wake-up call, and we continue to reach for that wake-up call if we haven't arrived there yet, because it's actually the thing that's needed to bring us into proper alignment, right? There's really deep healing going on here, and the healing that's going on here is meant to prepare us for really stepping into the activation of our North Node, which is our purpose, okay? It's what we're here to do, what we're here to express in the world. And there's important people that you're meant to share this with. And these are, you know, your soulmates that are coming in or coming back around the bend. There is the renew energy here. So some of you are meant to bring in certain connections as well, okay? You know, with Saturn, we know that this is not about sort of like putting a positive spin on things. And, you know, it's not time for Disney fairy tales. It is time to look at things squarely as they are and not delude ourselves about what we're grappling with here, okay? But there's also the ability with Chiron there, and with, you know, the sun amplifying the energy, and we got the Aries initiative, like, I can do this, man. You know, I'm willing to charge ahead. There's also that the bravery that's required to do this kind of healing work and turn this around. Okay, turn this around. For some of you, this really is turning around. For some of you, this is completely rerouting the direction you were heading in. You thought the grass was greener on the other side. You realized it wasn't. You realized you should have been watering your own lawn all the time. Okay, so there's something here about really understanding and making this connection about what we nurture is what grows. All right, and maybe there's an awakening that's starting to come in about nurturing things that do not reciprocate. Okay, and the way that this can be really draining. It can be draining to our vitality. It also changes the way that we give as well. We start to give from a place of resentment, and then nobody receives truly, okay? So there's a lot that's being sorted through on this level. We know that we also had recently, April 6th, we had Venus sextile Pluto, right? So we're definitely looking at that old devil. You know, the one you always think about when you think about, oh man, that mother. They really put me through it, okay? And it's interesting because we have these two cards coming out with this, and they're coming in like sort of on the downturn, but they're at the cross position, right? So yeah, oh wow, look at how that came out. Look at it, came out just like this. The Ace of Pentacles on the downturn, right? With the Three of Cups on the upturn. So we know that what's going on here is where we're sacrificing what we thought was our Ace of Pentacles, that dream we had for love, for our future, the direction we thought we were going in that regard. That story is coming to an end. There's something that needs to be like sort of paid as toll at the crossroads so you can move forward, you know? A little something for the homies, you know? We're going to recycle this energy, let it return to us renewed. There's something you get here. There is a bang for that buck, I have to say. The price that you have to pay, what it gives you is it gives you this feeling of restoration within. I got mind, body, spirit. Okay, there's a renewal within the self. And this renewal within the self is what creates the opportunity for true healing to take root, because there was something here you needed to sacrifice. You needed to really be ready to sacrifice it. There was something that you may have held on to for too long. This could have been an ideal. It could have been a dream to connect with a particular person. It could have been a desire to heal a certain relationship, or maybe it could have been a temptation that led you astray. You had to go down a garden path to realize, no, I've kind of like transcended that part of my nature. That's not who I am anymore. I'm really wanting, you know, more of this spirit of celebration in my life. I don't want to do the deep dive, you know, into Hades to dance with the devil in order to just get a little satisfaction. I mean, it's got to be better than this, you know. There's one point when maybe that can be a little alluring. You know, everybody has a story of a devil who's bested them at some time in matters of the heart, but we also know that there becomes a point on that particular journey where, despite how alluring something may be, if it has such a destructive impact on our lives and takes us out of our own power, right? There comes a point when you realize, like, this ain't it, man. And you transcend it. You know, some people struggle at this point because it becomes more of a matter of ego. They get into this dynamic, 1313 on the clock, okay, where they feel like, I have to best this. I have to best this devil. And that's actually an illusion, to think it's something that needs to take place outside of yourself. The besting it, so to speak, comes from within. It's really about transcending your lower nature and saying, no, I don't want to create this kind of storyline in my life. And in fact, it really is as easy as just like letting it go to be composted. And a lot of you are starting to realize this. You're like, why am I even like worried about this? Why am I focused on this? Like, why is this silly, right? And you are setting yourself free. Some of you are healing. It's interesting. Triad kind of situations, okay? You're understanding yourself within the role of so-called third-party dynamics. And you're recognizing how each person in that triad actually represents an aspect of yourself that needs to be healed and integrated. It's like this is the hall of funhouse mirrors. It actually was a pathway through our heart. You know, you've been like entering the dragon through the heart center, man. It's like it's been a battle to look beyond the illusions that you've harbored in this space when it comes to how you're able to greet love. But there's something you used to want to invest in that you recognize, no, that ain't it for me. I'm ready for the healing. All right, this coming forward very strongly. Yeah, because you realized it really wasn't balanced. It wasn't balanced. And again, there's something like, here we go again, a little something for the homies. It's like, you know, I think you extricated yourself from a triad, a lot of you, okay? Some outside element was playing that triad energy. It could have been another lover in your romantic story. It could have been somebody was very married to the pursuit of money and status and kind of stepping up the ladder. And so they didn't nurture the romantic connections. For others, it's just there was some kind of imbalance in power in this situation where somebody felt like they had to grovel to enter the house of love. And it's like it's never about that. You know, it's never about that. And this is something that's being balanced out here. And, you know, and there's also this piece of you have to look at the places inside of you that felt like you had to grovel, okay, because that's your work. That doesn't have anything to do with the other person, but this is what's been reflected at you. Now, some of you were just like, oh, hell no, you know, you stood up right away. You said, I'm out, you know, but you might have still grappled with certain feelings like, you know, why did they, you know, decide to go off in that direction, or why wasn't, you know, I worthy of that person's time or energy. But there's something here about turning the reflection within and instead looking at why did you feel why did you feel that it was a choice between you and someone else at all? You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes paths just diverge, they go in a different direction. It doesn't have to be any kind of judgment about who you are, what you represent, your worth, your value. And when we're looking at that Taurus energy in that house, that second house, it does have a lot to do with really like valuing yourself, understanding that, you know, there's more of value and worth than just money or things that are symbols of status. Your time, your energy is also valuable too. And how you choose to spend that time and energy is completely under your charge and your domain. So sometimes it's like you can blame like, oh, you know, they held me up at the crossroads. No, they didn't. You decided to hang out there. And it's no shame in that. I mean, that was part of your lesson. It was part of something you had to learn that you could only learn, you know, that way by being caught up at the crossroads. That's what it means to be in that hangman position. It means you sit around for a while and you figure it out. You know, why am I stuck? Why is this not moving forward? Why am I feeling like all of my creative energy has been dissipated? You know, that's how it gets revealed to you. Okay. So, you know, we still got that scorpionic energy front and center, okay? It's really coming in quite powerfully right now because of that Venus-Pluto conjunction. We're looking at our addictive cycles and relationships. We're looking at codependent dynamics in our love relationships. We're looking at places where we gave our power away to another. We're looking at ways that we've held ourselves back by clinging to something of the past, whether that's clinging to the pain of the past and shutting the heart down, or clinging to a particular love story in the past that totally has you like limiting yourself in terms of possibilities that are on offer to you. Or it can also be clinging to a particular person from the past, and that attachment has been like a tethering cord that's presented you, you know, an opportunity to finally reclaim your power, but maybe you haven't realized that because it is something that's holding you back from the expansion that wants to come into your life at this time. Just because you don't align with who you thought you were going to align with doesn't mean that anything is out of order. And let's look at it. We got to play devil's advocate here, okay? With that Venus sextile Pluto energy, right? Let's play devil's advocate for a minute here. What if, all right, this is where my Libran side comes in helpful for me. What if that third party came in and they did you the biggest favor because they actually freed you up to come into contact with your true soulmate, all right, and your true path at this time? And it might be the best thing that ever happened to you, and you just don't realize that right now, all right? So you maybe they came in as your ally, and just as I said that, we got Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Some of you were dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn 2020 vision. If you look back, you might be seeing things a lot differently now, okay? Because it was 2022 after that I saw. Something new is coming into alignment. You recognize, oh man, because this didn't work out, because I had to let this go. This grants me this beautiful celebration, this healing. It's also a celebration of you finally, like, you got to recognize the celebration in you finally recognizing your worth and the value of your time and energy and acting accordingly. There's a certain empowerment that comes with that. That's that pre-Empress energy, right? This could also be, you know, you're about to take that Ace of Pentacles where you used to invest it in this like love fantasy, and you're instead, you know, composting that energy, and you're going to take that to invest in yourself. 21 on the clock. 3 6 energy. You know, you're hatching a new vision entirely. Whatever vision you're hatching here, it's going to bring a lot of fulfillment. Yeah, there's something you're learning here with the Page of Pentacles. And you're just at the start of this journey, coming through very strongly for Earth sign energy. Anywhere where you have significant placements, I would say there's a lot you're learning here too if you have an Earth-Venus placement, all right? There wasn't really anything you lost. It's actually like you're learning that you still have an Ace of Pentacles. It's just where it's going to be invested is shifting, all right? But the action is yet to come, all right? The action is really yet to come, because on April 17th, we have Venus conjunct the node. Ooh, okay, now we're really cooking here, okay? So here we are again, all right? So now, oh, here we are again. So we meet again. It's you again. In some cases, it is going to be a mixed bag. We have to remember this energy coming in on April 17th with Venus conjunct the node, which is really a date with destiny, that we are also looking at a case where we're building up to that Uranus-Jupiter conjunction that comes in on the 20th, on 4/20, that's tying up the solar eclipse in Aries that occurred on the same day, 4/20, back in 2023. So it is going to be one of these moments, okay? And for some of you, it will be like, it's you again, you know? It might be facing off with the third party, I have to tell you. It could be facing off with the person you consider the nemesis. You might hear from this person at that time for this communion. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I think you're going to be sending them away because you're too busy looking toward your future. In that case, I have to say, because what got thrown on the ground was the Chariot heading south in the crossing. This could be a Cancer, or this could be a mother figure that wants to come in, has something to say. This could be somebody who, you know, ended up becoming pregnant from this third party engagement, possibly, all right? I don't think you're looking at this, though. I think you realize it's actually a bit of a distraction from what you're creating right now. I don't see you engaging in that, all right? Interesting energy there. You might really need to understand that in order to move forward, you do need to toss this distraction aside. You can't be sort of diverted from your path and where your focus is right now, because you're currently dreaming a new way into being, a new vision for yourself. And this is what opens the road. All right. So a little key about how you open your road with that energy. So do look for some kind of interesting communication to come in around April 17th. And I say that because just 2 days later, on April 19th, Mercury is conjunct Venus and the Sun enters Taurus. So there is something coming back around that's related to when Taurus was in the North Node and Scorpio was in the South Node at that time. So going back to 2021, the summer 2021 through the summer, starting of summer 2023, okay? 2-year cycle, something's really coming around. It's pretty significant. There is some kind of opportunity for healing that comes in with this, because The ooh, little blockage. No, we don't want that healing to happen. See, I think it is a kind of like a cutoff at the past. Yes. You're going to have something that was a third-party diversion and cut this off at the pass. That's what I got, all right? But I feel like they'll be foiled, all right? And you need to just keep your eyes on lock. You might notice a lot of people that were troublesome back then kind of like coming back around. You know, just be aware of what sort of sabotaged you in the past or what interfered in the past or brought some kind of drama or just unnecessary that you're just like, you know, it's okay. You can drop it, you can let it go. Can you see where that blocking energy was coming in? The reason I say that is because on April 21st, we got Venus conjunct Chiron, okay, your deepest wound of the self with the sun square Pluto. That's a pretty harsh little window of time we're moving through there, a little harsh reality tunnel. All right, we know that whatever we're facing here, it's harsh. I could also see this being as like, yep, you need to stay in this real, like, you need to remember your growth, man. You need to stay in your place of solidarity within yourself, all the growth you've experienced, all the beauty you're creating around you, all the healing you've done. This is the place that you really, really need to stay within right now. It's so important. Don't you dare blow it, man, because you're like pre-empress, pre-emperor energy right now. All right? You need to stay focused on where you're going on that north node. I could see this being a situation where like a third party, either a third party or a third party element crops back up again to challenge this place in you. In some places, it could be somebody that maybe you have viewed as your nemesis or the homewrecker or the other, you know, whatever, the troublemaker in your situation, in your love story, coming around and trying to rub something in your face, kind of a gloating nature, like, haha, I'm over here celebrating. You don't get the opportunity. It's lost to you. In fact, I think that's what it is. Let me get a confirmation on that. Is that going to be what it is for quite a few people? I do feel like it's something that has the potential to sort of like pick at a particular scab. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just freshly healed, and there might be somebody trying to come around and sort of like rub salt in your wounds, right? We have to remember the Venusian energy is not just about love and beauty and all things sensual. It's also about, you know, this piece of war. All out war, all right? So, and we have to remember the House of Libra as well in the South Node rules outright enemies, all right? These aren't people that are hidden. They're like, they want to make it known that they're not siding with you. But see, here's the thing. Yeah, I certainly feel that this is coming in. It's that same old ish. It's like, here, let me come forward. Let me rub this in your face about, oh, look what I got. And you're like, oh, yeah, hey, here, a little something for the homies. Here you go. I'll give it to you. You can have it. You can have it. Look at that. Holding the scales. Look at yourself. You can have it because I already got something coming in here. I don't need this. Look at that. There's that wand representing that person from the past coming to try to, you know, rub some salt in your wounds. You have to understand, if you turn around and you give too much time and energy to this, what's going to happen? You just opened your road. You got what you've been waiting for to come in is about to come in, but you could really blow it at that point. Don't blow it. 30 on the clock. Don't blow it. All right? Something is lining up for you that brings in more gifts than you can imagine. Let me see. What is this that's lining up more than you can imagine? It's syncing up right around the time of the full moon that's going to be on the 23rd in Scorpio, which is a highly transformational moon. They call it the moon of primal forces, okay? So the primal forces are standing at your side, you know, and they're lining up the wild path of heart for you. Ooh, what is this? Oh, yes, indeed. Look at this. This is the battle royale, man. Let me tell you. Passions are raging, tempers are flaring. There's conquesting. Who will claim the queen's heart? All right, we do have a big choice here at the crossroads. The lovers. I feel it's a choice between love or fear. And once you really grok that, and you understand that only when we're in this place of competitiveness, only when we're in this place of, you know, feeding the dramatics, only when we're in this place of conflict, are we feeding the fear and not the love. There's something that needs to be pondered here. Queen of Cups energy, water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I feel like this read is speaking of what elementals are missing, needed in order to really be able to rise up into that Empress, Emperor energy, because that's what the North Node is all about. So something really potent happens and is building. It's that window through the 17th of April when we first have the Venus conjunct the node come in again, all right, for the second time. It comes in and it brings in the Libran energy really strong here. And then it also brings in with it, you know, some communication coming in, all right? Some communication coming in trying to sweeten the pot, but it's sort of like it's a ruse. You have to be aware. It's a ruse because it's square Pluto, that Sun square Pluto with the Venus conjunct Chiron coming in. This is when you really have to, you know, stand on all it took to get you back into a place where you felt like, I got my heart intact again. 32 on the clock, you know? You can choose. You can enter back into this fray. You can get caught back up into that battle again very easily, especially with the full moon of primal forces coming in. You know, it might awaken that part of you, you know, that feels like you got to fight for what you feel is yours, all right, in that situation. But you can't fight for what's yours. It's already yours. What are you fighting for? You know, 3308, that's the key to manifestation. You need to really stick with your vision, the vision that was born out of sacrificing this, all right? See what we got here. Yeah, this is the work, man. This is the work that needs to be done. Okay, of course, we have Venus entering Taurus, okay, on the 29th, okay, shortly after that moon, after we've had some time to sit in the dark, you know, contemplate a little bit during the dark moon cycle in its waning phase, we get an opportunity to really consider, did we really learn our lessons about valuing ourselves, you know, what we're looking for in terms of romantically, you know, who we're wanting to connect with in that heart space, or are we still stuck? You know, there's something that needs to come to light in that time, and you know, it's pretty significant because we are closing out that month. You know, this month here with Mars entering Aries on the 30th, okay, and Venus square Pluto. All right, so this, I see this with Mars entering Aries and Venus square Pluto on April 30th, representing that moving into that North Node, that magician energy. Like, I have the ability to actually transform this. I have the ability to step into the role of the alchemist in my life. I am not going to go and get dragged back down to hell again. Like, I've already been there. I have the handbasket to show for it. And now I want to fill that handbasket with, you know, sweet, juicy fruits and maybe a bottle of wine. And I want to go on a picnic with someone divine and just, you know, drinking, you know, a little sweeter times. It's been enough of this bitter tea, all right? I see that coming in very strongly, all right? And we do have that Uranus-Jupiter conjunction, which is going to add that wild card into the mix. And that's right before we get that dance with the devil. Okay, so we know anything can happen. How is that Uranus-Jupiter conjunction going to affect the collective right before this kind of like last face-off with an energy that does have the potential to drag us down into that south node just as we're moving on up? Give me a little bit of information about that, Spirit, for the collective. Give me a little bit of info about that for the collective. Oh, look at that. Wow. Justice, south node energy on lock. Nope. I know what I'm building. I'm here to rise up into that north node. Now, normally on the cardinal cross, like Capricorn is in that north node. So often when I see this card now, it really makes me lock into that energy. And of course, with what we're working on here, it also makes me think of the stone of destiny. There's a truth that you acted on, and that truth was the basis of what you're manifesting moving forward. You're hoping to hit the mark. I see you hitting it. You're balancing out this karmic cycle. All right. This is like the activation of that sword of truth, Fraggle Rock. You know, there's obviously been actions taken that are leading to this stability. There's something you're really growing here. It's like you've gone through this cycle. So this to me looks like the exaltation of that south, the south node energy. They're like, no, I want to move up into that Empress, Emperor energy, marrying it with that transformational power of the wand, right? Because when we think of that magician card, the magician's raising the wand associated with both Aries and Aquarius, okay? So this is merging the truth with the action. And we know we got the Queen of Cups here. We got water on the scene to feed it, to nurture it. I think you're going to take that decisive action. Something's going to come in that's really going to have you stepping into your power. I feel like it's the power of transformation. You're going to make use of that primal forces, full moon in Scorpio on the 23rd to just build off of whatever action you take, whatever comes in on 420 with that Uranus-Jupiter conjunction. You're taking some powerful action that really lines you up to step into your power. And it's because you know your worth. You balanced out this karmic cycle. All right. So I think this is really speaking of transformation for most of you. Now, is there the danger that some could get embroiled in their ego? Is there a danger that some get, have this third party or third element come back into the mix? It's really coming through that way. It's some triad situation. Could you get lured back in? Yeah, you could. If you choose to stay in your lower nature, you're being asked to really activate your inner alchemist here, right? Let me do a cut of the deck energy. See what we got here. Queen of Wands, right? Fire, okay? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, all right? We got pretty much everybody on the board here. We got water, we got earth, we got fire, we got swords coming out as justice. All right, good energy there with that. I like seeing that. All right, so this is about, lining up with our sense of passion and purpose. Look at this. Speaking of big Empress energy too, I have to say here, look at this. Remember, even for the Emperor to rule wisely, he can't lose the heart. This is about also, we have to remember it's a merging of those energies. It's the Empress and the Emperor merging. The Empress integrates all the lessons, all the four elementals, and then rises up into the North Node to meet the Emperor. Okay, so this is about not losing this piece. So I see you really coming into this place of self-mastery, transmutation, rising above what held you down in the past, knowing the worth, the value, also making clear, decisive judgments, weighing things up fairly. And the balance is only had when the feather is heavier than the heart. Okay, so something is being alchemized and transformed here. This is also being free of attachment, releasing the attachments, And this is what sparks the wave of transformation. Definitely moving up into the North Node energy. I like to see that. And the devil is hanging in reverse, okay? Because we understand it's not about the acquisition of worldly power. It's not about throwing our weight around. We've overcome our lower natures, and now our lower natures are what's hung up at the crossroads. We're transmuting that energy. I love how I brought in that piece, see? And that's what opens up all the riches for us, right? This is big, like deliverance. Deliverance from the devil's snares. Like, we went to hell in the handbasket. Yes, we have the handbasket to show for it. And it's what we're gathering our harvest in, okay? We got the devil caught up, man. We got the devil caught up. Yeah, we're not taking the devil's fishy offers anymore with Page of Cups. We know it's a trick, man. We know it's a trick that will trap us. It'll bind us. It'll get us stuck up at the crossroads. We learn those lessons, right? We shed the illusion. You may promise all this gratification. Oh, it looks so good. It sounds so pretty, but we know it's a garden path that leads to disillusionment. And we have the suffering that we had to move forward with as a result of that. But we're casting off these swords because we're ready for the real deal. And it's first happening within us. See that healing? That's that beautiful Chiron energy. The healing that's manifesting, that's allowing two to meet each other on the same level, all right? You are coming into alignment with someone here, right? There is a love story here. And while you've been focused on your healing and doing your reflection and staying balanced and tending all around you and all your growing, there is a bit of luck coming in here to fill your cup. It's your sun. It's your happiness. We got the Hierophant energy here. Oh my gosh, I cannot make it up. We got the Hierophant energy here, which is representing a big yes. This is some kind of wish fulfillment. And it's trusting that the way that this is fulfilled is absolute perfection, okay? And it rises you up into the Empress energy. Look at this beautiful exaltation of the Libra South Node. Big time. I love seeing this. This is a real transformation. And to come in also with Taurus's representative here, the Hierophant, look at that. It's the North Node actualization. The lessons that were learned during Taurus North Node have been fully integrated. We didn't lose the sense of value for our time and energy. We didn't look at rejection or what was lost as any sort of indication about us not being worthy in any way, shape, or form. We also learned what was truly meaningful for us. And because we didn't lose that, and we just had faith that if we stayed true to our hearts and our higher ideals, okay, that there would be justice, there would be balance restored, and we let go. Oh my gosh, this reading! We let go. Look at this. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe how this reading's coming out. Look at this. We got the sun. Okay, there's the happiness. Leo season really going to pop off. And who's on the other side to greet us? Oh my gosh, this reading. The Emperor. And we got this. This is the victory lap, okay? It's beautiful, but you need to be aware, all right? I mean, this read, wow, that is so potent. You can have it all. You really can. Or you can have an empire of dirt. All right. If you pick back up those swords you left behind and you allow yourself to be burned again. Whoa. You already went through this fire test of truth. You can get burned again and burdened. If you want to go back into the dark, if you want to dive back into the South Node, you can. And look at this. You'll be back in that place, worn out, exhausted, fending off one thing after another. This is choosing to stay in the fight. So this is really what I got coming in here. You have a challenge showing up on your path. And this challenge is going to show up for you right in that window of time, okay, between April 17th and that full moon. This is a really dicey time, all right? You might be facing off with a third party. You might be confronted with a particular devil who's very alluring to you. You're going to have to really stay in your place of what you've learned as you establish things. You are coming together, you know, with a soulmate. That doesn't mean that you'll immediately come into alignment with this soulmate. Some of you have to pass a test and really be so centered in your own self-worth that you're willing to go forward alone, all right? Some of you, you are really doing the work and you are transmuting a lot of heavy stuff that weighed down a special connection. You're getting it to a good, healthy place. There's a reinvestment. I have to say it. There is reunion, healing energy on deck here, all right? This is two people who have done their work. This is two people who have transmuted their trauma, that gave up their victim stories and that said, I'm going to restore myself and I can move forward and it's okay. I can bear the rejection as long as I'm staying true to myself and what I know is true in my heart. Like, I can't go wrong. I know there's something for me. And those people are coming into alignment, you know, in some cases with another who was able to do that work as well. But whoever you're meeting on the other side of this transit, okay, it's not somebody that is going to be looking down on you. And it's also not somebody you're going to be like looking up to, okay? And they're not going to look up to you either. You're going to be seeing each other eye to eye on the same level as two people who've done the work. This is really cool energy. It's beautiful energy. Just don't get dragged into the drama because you're going to have a lot of people testing those boundaries in that period of time. I'm telling you. Sun square Pluto, that is your sun, your happiness, literally being put in the penalty box with the devil. It looks like you best the devil. It does. You get him hung up at the crossroads. Well, gee, maybe that wasn't the best route to take with that. I might need to rethink our strategy there. Hey, I want to have the pleasure, you know? I want the pleasure. I want the sweet hedonistic reward of just enjoying this beautiful life and all the pleasures it has to offer. Okay, there's something here that's being transformed, you know, looked at in a different way. Recognizing if I can, you know, transform this, then I actually elevate. You know, I step into a place of self-mastery, all right, where I really do activate that 10th house. You know, you do get to choose. Let me do a cut of the deck here and just close this part out and see what we got. Strength. You do have the ability to do it, and you will. You're going to overcome the beast of burden from the past. Leo energy coming in very strongly here. And look at that, the Hermit. And this is going to be the challenge for some of you, right? Virgo energy here. Some of you may be on the Virgo Leo cusp, or you might have one or both of these signs strongly aspected in your chart, or could have been dealing with one. Don't have to be, all right? But this transitionary time too, I see. There could be something that you're exiting right in between that, like sort of liminal space between Leo season and Virgo season too. Yep. And this is what you're leaving behind. It's like you're anteing things up at the crossroads, balancing something out. And then things will really start to move forward with the 8 of Wands. That's what I got. For me, 8 of Wands always comes out as a 2-month timing card. Things start to move. So there's something, I feel like a process starts over these next 2 months that's very significant, that has you finally heading off in a new direction, letting go of something, extricating yourself from what's been a standing triad situation. All right. You may go off on your own initially. That may be what it looks like, or you may have to stay firmly in your own position in a dynamic where maybe it involves some kind of family element or something, but you'll overcome. All right. and you'll get your new beginning. You're going to come into alignment with your true north, right? Your true north. And there will be somebody to greet you there. Your emperor, your empress will be there to meet you. So looks like very interesting times. Don't lose the lesson. That's very significant. I am going to be bringing in a love read for each individual sign related to this. Okay, yeah, there's a lot still hidden. Remember the eclipse energy, all right? There's still a lot that's hidden under the light of that moon. There's more to be balanced out and alchemized here, Sagittarian energy, all right? And there is something that needs to be faced very decisively. It could be a Sagittarius, could be a Pisces, okay? Before that Queen of Pentacles energy can meet the King of Pentacles energy, you see? Right? There's something that needs to be cut away first. This is the work that needs to be done to secure some kind of happiness, lest it gets stolen away, all right? And that's what the activation of this Fool's journey is all about. But you only kick off on this journey once you bring something to an end, okay? Then the new love story begins, all right? Very interesting, very dynamic. So I will be bringing something in for each individual sign. Look for those to start to roll out, and it will relate specifically to how this Venus transit period will be your transit to the future, all right? And your future love story, or the further unfoldment of your love story if you're currently actively healing in relationship with someone. 5151, some of you are closing out a very significant, long drawn out healing cycle. Good things on the way. So very dynamic time, very dynamic time. And just be prepared for those roads that you do have to walk alone. In this story, there will be junctures, I think, especially between Leo season and Virgo season, where you might have a passage where you really are, you know, threading the eye of a particular needle. It's a bit of initiation into the mysteries of love and the heart. So there's something beautiful and almost tantric that's being activated there. And just have faith, have courage. So much will be revealed to you. I think, you know, you're going on that hero's quest for sure. So there's something that's going to be guiding you forward that's on a deeper level, more spiritual level, all right? So yes, stay tuned and you'll get your particular insights coming through. I'll do a little mini love read for each sign, all right? So look for those to start to roll out this week. And it looks like it's about to get quite interesting.